Have you ever woken up from a really weird, stressful dream and just thought, why is my brain so chaotic at night? And then you look at the world we've built, our art, our gardens, our temples, and it's all about order and beauty. It's a strange paradox, isn't it? Our minds can be a nightly storm, but our cultures seem obsessed with building paradise. Well, today, we're going to unravel that exact mystery.
Okay, let's just dive right in. The core question is this: why is there such a massive gap between our private nightmares and our public art? One is filled with instability, fear, all that messy stuff. The other is all about harmony and symmetry. But here's the twist. It turns out this isn't a contradiction at all. It's actually a single, really elegant system at work. And we're going to follow the clues, starting with the neurons in your brain and going all the way up to some of the grandest treasures of human culture.
So let's really break this down. On one side, you've got our inner world, our dreams. They're fragmented, they're unstable, and study after study shows they are predominantly negative. I mean, think about it. How often are you being chased, or falling, or showing up to a test you didn't study for? Now, on the other side, you've got the art our cultures produce, our architecture, our gardens, our mosaics. They are overwhelmingly symmetrical, harmonious, and positive. We build paradise, but we dream of trouble. So what on earth connects these two opposing worlds?
Well, the first piece of the puzzle is actually inside our own heads. It all boils down to two very different ways our brain operates, what it does at night versus what it does during the day.
To get this, we need to talk about a key concept called residual strain. It's just a fancy way of saying all the leftover mental and emotional junk from your day. The unresolved tensions, the thoughts you didn't finish, those lingering feelings. This strain is like the raw fuel for everything your mind cooks up when it's not focused on the outside world. It powers both your dreams at night and your daydreams. And what's so fascinating is how the brain uses that exact same fuel in two completely different ways. When you're asleep, that strain flows in what the source material calls chaotic zigzags. It just jumps all over the place between memories, creating these abrupt, fragmented, and mostly negative images. Its main job? To just discharge all that overloaded energy. It's like a system flush. But during the day in our daydreams, that same strain follows guided zigzags. It's a much smoother, more story-like process, and it tends to lean positive. Its function is constructive. You're planning, you're fantasizing, you're creating. So, same energy, but two totally different outcomes.
Okay, so how does this whole night and day cycle in the brain actually connect to our waking lives? Well, it helps explain something we all recognize: personality. This split between night mode and day mode has a direct parallel in how we see the world.
You can almost think of pessimism and optimism not just as attitudes, but as a kind of bias. A pessimist, in this view, tends to carry the brain's chaotic night mode into their waking life. Their thinking is skewed towards threat and instability, kind of like a bad dream. An optimist, on the other hand, carries that constructive day mode forward. Their thinking is naturally drawn towards balance, hope, and order, a lot like a productive daydream. And this shows us exactly why we need both types of people. A society needs the pessimists, the night mode thinkers, to warn us about dangers and keep us disciplined. But it also absolutely needs the optimists, the day mode thinkers, to provide hope, build community, and create beautiful things. It's a social balance that perfectly mirrors the balance inside our own brains. So if individuals kind of lean one way or the other, what does society do as a whole? This is where it gets really cool. Culture, especially through art, provides a collective answer to the chaos of our inner nighttime worlds. And apparently it happens in a three-step process. First, it starts with the raw material from our dreams, those unstable, chaotic, often negative symbols. Then, over generations, cultures collectively sift through all this stuff, picking out the symbols that really resonate with people. A garden representing paradise, or a snake representing danger. And then comes the final crucial step. These selected symbols get regularized. They're ordered, they're stabilized, and they're repeated over and over until they become the beautiful, harmonious patterns we see in art. It's like a private nightmare symbol gets transformed into public ordered beauty. Now, the purpose of this art isn't just to be pretty. It creates something the source calls cultural attractors. These are basically external symbols of balance. Things like temples, mosaics, mandalas, that give our collective mind an anchor of stability. They are the physical, real-world manifestation of the brain's orderly day mode, made available for everyone to see and feel.
So what do these blueprints for balance actually look like? This is the fun part. Let's look at some incredible examples from different cultures, which all found their own unique way to bring order into the world.
First up, let's look at Islamic arabesques. You've seen these infinite, repeating geometric and floral patterns. They're designed to symbolize the unity and endless order of the universe, and functionally, they act as a resonant attractor. That constant repetition actually calms the mind. It creates this feeling of serene, transcendent balance. As your eyes follow the patterns, your mind kind of tunes into that feeling of continuity.
Next, we've got Christian rose windows in cathedrals. Now the strategy here is totally different. Instead of infinite repetition, everything radiates from one stable center. This structure symbolizes a cosmic hierarchy, with everything coming from a single divine light. It functions as a centralized attractor because it literally draws your mind and your eyes toward a single orderly point, creating this powerful feeling of awe and reverence.
And then you have Hindu and Buddhist mandalas. You can think of these as visual maps of the cosmos, with these amazing concentric layered patterns. They represent this beautiful idea that the individual, the microcosm, is a reflection of the entire universe, the macrocosm. These are called recursive attractors. Following the intricate geometry is literally a form of meditation, a process designed to align your own personal state with cosmic order, creating a feeling of harmony and deep immersion.
So if we put it all together, you can see this universal pattern emerge. Islamic art uses resonant attractors, that endless repetition, to create calmness. Christian windows use centralized attractors, everything radiating from a single point, to inspire awe. Hindu mandalas use recursive attractors, those fractal, self-similar layers, to generate a feeling of harmony. Even the ancient Greeks did this with their harmonic ratios in architecture. They used linear attractors to create a sense of rational balance. So even though the styles and the emotions are all different, the function is identical: to build an external source of order for the mind.
All right, let's bring it all home and look at the full circle, from a single chaotic dream all the way up to the stability of an entire civilization.
Here it is, the whole system in 4 simple steps. Step 1. It all starts with you, at night, as your brain discharges all that chaotic strain in your dreams. Step 2. During the day, your brain reorganizes the leftovers into more positive, constructive daydreams. Step 3. On a larger scale, we all develop a personality bias towards one of these 2 modes, pessimism or optimism. And finally, step 4, at the largest scale, culture steps in. It takes that positive, orderly day mode and externalizes it for everyone in the form of art, creating a collective regulator to balance out all of our inner chaos.
And that right there is the solution to our mystery. Nightmares and paradise art, they aren't opposites at all. They are 2 essential parts of one incredible system. The nightmares are the discharge valve for our internal chaos. The art is the external anchor of order. One manages our private instability so the other can provide our collective stability. It's an amazing balance.
So that leaves us with one last, pretty fascinating question to think about. If a culture's art is a reflection of its collective daydreams, its hopes, its ideals, its vision of order, then what does our art today say about what we're dreaming up for the future? What patterns of balance, or maybe chaos, are we building around ourselves right now?